The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our trash elite, Rob, and a guy from Ohio for whom this podcast is. DG, Destrucity KTL, Passion Killer 711, Drake Starstorm, and Kitty Holbrook. Greetings and salutations. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hello.
And one of our cat friends who is closer to the mic than usual. His name is appropriately Dio. He was named after the same guy the guy in the show is named after, not the guy in the show. He's been around for many years, and we're only just now watching this.
In that way, they are brothers.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We are talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders Part 2, Battle in Egypt today. But before we get to that, we do need to talk about what's crumpin'.
What has been crumperating?
This is our first podcast recorded after the couple weeks break we traditionally take after loading up on
End of year content. Yeah. So how's the start of the year been for you, White Raven?
Well, better than last year, but also I have the depression. Had the depression. It's over now.
Forever he's cured.
Well, it's over now. For now. I honestly...
I find that eternally funny to say that way because it's so patently obviously untrue.
Yeah. Hey, you just got to ride it out until your brain chemistry goes back to normal. Yeah.
So,
well, you crumping is what you were asking me. I was trying to remember before the depression. What's crumping with me? Not a whole lot. I tried Warhammer Total War 3. Very good game, not for me. Like, a lot of times I look at a game and I'm like, that's the way I say I fucking hate this game. I go, it's not for me. Genuinely. Mechanically, nothing wrong with it. Really cool. It's just slow and a little tedious. It's not my genre. But it is very good. And everything else I've done has been not that. I actually finally got into Dead Cells. I've tried a couple times, and it took a little bit. And I just listened to the Proto Men's new album, Act 3.
good?
It's probably their best album, and my favorite song of theirs is on another album. I will give a teaser to anyone who listens to the Proto Men. The Good Doctor Part 2 lives up to The Good Doctor Part 1.
Well, I'll be listening to that after we're done.
Yes, prepare to be emotionally devastated. Seriously, musically, the first half of the album, where the rock opera is minimal, is absolutely phenomenal. And the rock opera part of it is still absolutely phenomenal. It's just also a rock opera, so your mileage may vary. But what's been crumping with you, my guy?
Well, in celebration of hearing that they might be making a New Vegas remake, which I have long considered might be an option when it was revealed that New Vegas was going to be the setting for the second season of the show, I finally just went ahead and finished up and ran credits on Fallout New Vegas again. I had been dithering around in DLCs, but my run was basically complete, so I'll probably still go through the rest of the DLCs. It's basically, when do I want to try and do Dead Money, because I always like to do Lonesome Road last, because it makes sense, timeline-wise for it to be last. But Dead Money sucks. I don't like it. So it's, when do I feel like getting through that? The Big Empty is actually really fun in comparison.
I've never finished the game, nor have I done the DLCs. And I've tried to go back, but I can't. It's too jank.
Old. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I'd finished it at the time, but circumstances dictated not so. But that is what's crumbling. Was there anything else?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. Stardust Crusaders is made of a lot of two-parters, Battle in Egypt specifically. We'll be going through episode by episode. I keep telling myself I'm going to write down notes. Not that I need them, but I think they might be funny to revisit later.
In the way that some of them might just be Goblin or Dear God, when will this end?
So much baby penis.
All right. Well, I was going to wait till we
wait till we get there. It's fine. We can wait till we get there. Let's talk about a dog we don't like.
Okay. Iggy is very, very annoying comedy bit. For everything that isn't his solo episode, this isn't funny, and I'm not having fun when you're on screen. His solo episode's great. I like that character, but that guy's not usually who we have.
Iggy is a Boston Terrier or a French Bulldog. I can't quite tell.
Izzy is a goblin. Or Iggy is a goblin in the vague shape of a dog. Yeah, he does, because there are normal dogs in this show.
He has a weird dude face, but yeah. Then later on, some regular dog showed up, and I realized that.
Well, even in season 1, there was a regular dog.
True. Yeah.
This guy knows how to draw dogs. He chose to draw. You can see it on the thumbnail. He chose to draw that. Iggy is a weird goblin in the shape of a dog, and he is an unfunny, puerile, childish joke. Except for his solo episode where he's awesome.
He farts in people's faces and loves coffee-flavored gum, which I did the research on, expecting it to be chewing tobacco in the original Japanese. No,
he just loves coffee.
He just loves coffee-flavored gum.
And he loves to eat people's hair.
Yeah, it's like they spent the first half of this season of Stardust Crusaders building up Polnareff, and they were like, we need to make this guy less cool than the main character, the actual title main character. Let's have a dog fart in his face and eat his hair for
let's have him spend most of the second half of the season, the entire part 2, most of that being the poop shoot for a fucking fart dog. It was very frustrating to deal with.
The stand users are now using stands named after Egyptian gods. The first one we encounter is Geb, who is used by a blind guy. Iggy is a stand user as well, and he beats him.
Good job.
We move into the Oingo Boingo brothers.
We're going to hear this a lot about this part, about the most of this section. Man, I don't know who told you were a comedy manga artist, but they should not have done that.
I actually kind of like the Oingo Boingo brothers.
No, dog, they are awful.
I don't know. It was funny to me. It reminded me of like Looney Tunes, but in anime. I appreciated it.
You're absolutely right. That's just not the right energy for everything we've done up till now.
I don't disagree with that.
They're out of place.
I don't know that the seasons needed to be 48 episodes long. I think that's part of the problem.
These guys definitely feel like filler.
Yeah. But I do like them. I like their little outro theme song. I thought the whole hook was funny.
Honestly, I think a part of this is you've had this complaint several times about several different properties. Where you might like, it might be well written, it might be funny, blah, blah, blah. The art style, you hate it, so nothing about it can be good. Their little art they do is so viscerally fucking ugly that I hated looking at it.
See, I've watched several modern Western cartoons, so it didn't bother me. That's a big mouth joke and a bunch of other shit. No, it's hideous, but it is in fact so hideous that it becomes fascinating. Like, I agree, it's ugly. I just can't help but look at it like a car wreck kind of thing. I don't know that there's much. You guys come in here for us to tell you how JoJo goes? Go watch. It's on Netflix.
It's been out since 2018. It's on Disney Plus. It's on Amazon. It's on everything.
I just noticed I messed up a single pixel of your goatee, and now that's going to drive me nuts. Oh well. The next two-parter was Anubis, who is a sword. And this was kind of cool, I thought, too.
This was really cool. Yeah. This was a cool idea for an episode. The idea that the stand itself had outlived its creator, and like it was a fun gimmick. It was a fun fight. It was an interesting, like series of events. I actually really liked Anubis. Anubis was a cool two-parter. Anubis was really fun.
I enjoyed the end of Anubis, which went on long enough to become funnier than it deserved.
Yes, this is funny. The fucking other shit, not this good. He tried so hard to stay out of the river, and he just kept not.
It only got worse.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't even. It was like if a lot of those episodes that end where they're like, oh, that guy went to jail or that guy retired or whatever. It's like if they kept going and they were like, and then after he retired, his children told him he never loved him, and then he crapped himself a lot. And
yeah.
The next two-parter is Bastet's Mariah. I liked this one too. The gay panic aside, it wasn't that bad of a joke, but it was a little... Look, in comparison to other shit we've had to deal with, it was fine.
Look, I know that this is not when this manga was written many, many moons ago in like the fucking 80s or some shit. I don't remember exactly when. But it's 2018's real late to have this joke happen.
I will say, if you remind yourself of the context, I don't think two straight guys want to look like they're sucking each other's dicks in the middle of Egypt. In a public street
having a good old-fashioned butt fuck in the middle of the street.
That's a good way to have some problems.
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and wag my finger at the anime for its joke. It's not like it was the worst thing ever.
No.
And honestly, it wasn't even much of the episode.
No, it was like maybe 5 minutes tops.
So look, if you're gonna do something that is not terribly funny and a little childish,
this is fine.
Keeping it to like a few minutes tops.
This should be the floor.
You know what you shouldn't do? We'll get there.
We'll get there very soon. I do want to say a little more. I thought Mariah, was that her name, was a cool character. I thought the clever way they snapped the trap and defeated her was really cool. I liked the whole magnetic deal. It was silly, but I think they went places with it, and they often don't.
Yeah, This was the gimmick of this stand was utilized very interestingly, and I like that.
Do we want to start with the good things we have to say, or do we want to start with the complaining?
Well, one of them's going to be a lot shorter, so let's start with the good things.
All right. The next two episodes are Set's Alessi. I think that there was a lot of potential in this stand. I also... a guy from Ohio has mentioned before that he often considers a lot of the crass or childish humor a lot like kids playing with action figures, and even some of the action to be very, I've got an energy shield you didn't know I could have.
Yes, and look, that is the energy this show brings a lot of the time.
Absolutely, and I think if they had taken the basic concept of like stepping into a shadow, making you younger and thus unable to fight, in a serious path the whole time, this could have been a really cool, threatening, horrific character. I
especially liked the regressive memory loss.
That was interesting.
That's a very existentially horrifying idea. Because in a very real way, our memories are all that we actually are. So that's the idea of losing yourself like that it's very horrifying. However,
I would like to say one more thing. It will bridge. As stupid as the fact that you can turn someone into a fetus with this ability is, as childish and reductive, it is pretty horrific, and they play it that way.
Yes, I didn't like being shown the fetus. It was unsettling.
No, that didn't bother. You know what? Out of all the things I saw in this episode, fetus was fine.
Oh, I'm leading with that because it was the least one.
Fetus was on the fine side. I think they really kind of went to a darker place with it. Didn't linger on it for too long. They kept the tone of the show light. But again, if that were the floor, I think I would have been okay with that.
But this show showed us a solid 45 minutes of baby penis.
Dan Avidan wasn't even there to sing and make it better.
What the fuck, man?
I know it's a different culture. I know this is normal there. I know it's not a big deal. I also saw Man of Steel.
Yeah, you know what? You forget there's baby cock in Man of Steel.
Yeah, I try to anyway. It's just not. This is enough outside my culture that it's not funny.
Even Man of Steel's like a scene. It's like
it's a couple seconds,
4 seconds.
Yeah,
not most of 2 episodes. It's just not. It's just weird, dog. I'm not saying that you and Drake hang out or nothing.
No, I don't.
Just fucking weird.
The only part of this that was sexual at all was as Paul Naref was regressing, he was still briefly hanging on to his adult urges. But
horny toddler Paul Naref with his baby dick hanging out is gonna haunt my fucking nightmares. But like, it's just fucking weird. It was just weird and unnecessary.
Not my kind of weird. I like a lot of weird, not that kind of weird. I did think it was funny that Jotaro just beat the crap out of him, even being a child.
That was, you know what?
Pretty good
this
punchline.
Whole terrible, long-winded fucking joke was building up to the punchline of, haha, now you are a child, Jotaro, you can't fight me. Jotaro, no, you misunderstood what's happening here.
Bet. Fortunately, however, this was the last of the bad.
Everything after this is a ramp upward towards peak fucking cinema. Honestly, this was such a heavy weight that it allowed that I took a break after it. Like these episodes were so like cringe. Is the easiest way to explain it, that I stopped, and when I came back, I had a nice clean emotional break to watch fucking peak cinema.
The two-parter of Darby the Gambler.
What fucking cool. That was so cool.
It was so awesome.
It was so cool.
It did a great job of reminding us that Jotaro is actually the protagonist, because most of the time Polnareff is. And that he's cool and capable and can do stuff. You said it better, so I would suggest you lead with the explanation of this one.
So, I love this episode, one, for Darby, but to bridge into what he was talking about, I love this episode because it reestablishes Jotaro as the protagonist, because he's right, most often Polnareff is the emotional center of the story. But it establishes that he is a different protagonist than the previous JoJo, who is in this show.
Yes.
Joseph Joestar is in this show. And he has a very particular, like, he's very canny, and he likes to do schemes. Everyone he beat, or almost everyone he beat by being smarter than them, by outsmarting them, by having a better gambit than them. And he tries that here, and because he's not the protagonist of this season, it fails, and he gets out-gambited. And then the new protagonist must step in and utilize the things that make him special, the thing that makes him worth watching, the thing that is the reason we're following his story now, which is his massive adamantium balls. The dude is just built different. He is Himothy, and he beats this lifelong canny gambler who always has another trick up his sleeve by just aura farming him to death.
A part of it is using something as leverage, that canniness, that cleverness that the gambler never expected, which is it goes down to a hand of poker. And he wagers like all of his friends' souls.
And his mom's soul.
Yeah, his mom's soul.
Against getting the souls they had already lost back, and having Darby tell him the secret of Dio's stand, which has been a mystery they've been leading up really only in this part of like the second half of the series. And that's so clever. And you actually pointed this out when we spoke about it. So
yeah, because they've built up this whole time while they weren't looking necessarily for Dio's stand as much. It ramped up just before the middle, I think. Anytime they've tried to find out Dio's secrets, nobody's given that shit up. Yeah,
even in the first half, nobody fucking narcs on Dio.
No.
The one lady who, like, one time a lady chose to be horribly killed by flesh tendrils rather than narc on Dio.
Yeah. So he realizes he's caught between a rock and a hard place because Jotaro hasn't looked at his cards.
So it's not that Jotaro's outsmarting him. Jotaro is just so absolutely more iron-willed than him. He's got so much more like steel in his spine. He's just so fucking about that life that the gambler can't measure up. He he's not built like that.
Well, and it was very pragmatic as well, because JoJo even says, once he has him, he's already got, I think, Polnareff and Joseph. It's just Avdol and Jotaro left. And once he has those souls on wager, he's like, well, yeah, I'll wager my mom's soul because she's going to die if we don't succeed. So, yeah, I'll put her on there. Why not? It doesn't matter. Either I win this bet by pushing your ability to, keep a poker face and trust in the cards that you know that you have being good, or I lose and we lose. So what is it? I'll bet all in. I'll find new stuff to throw at you. What do you want? How do I push you further?
Let's light this candle, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You want to go? Let's go.
It's kind of the difference between, someone who is already standing to lose everything versus a guy who's just playing for money.
He's just, and that's what makes JoJo the protagonist of this season, is he does have, in a way that like Joseph, Joestar, and Jonathan Joestar don't, he has the fucking anime shonen protagonist plus ultra in his spirit. He can just grit his teeth and be built different.
There's an important thing that's set up here, because when Joseph and Darby because Joseph is the original challenger, when they're warring with throwing coins into a glass of alcohol with the surface tension, that both of them are cheating their asses off.
Yeah, and then Joseph is just out-cheated. He's just out-gambit it.
But there's a saying that
it is the deceived and not the deceiver who is to blame, who is at fault.
This is something Darby espouses, and
basically, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. If
Yeah.
you didn't catch me, it didn't count.
and it was pretty cool. He was a cool character. It was a cool couple of episodes. You were less fond of the next two, but I really liked them. It is a return of Whole Horse and Boingo.
No, I want to be clear. I love that my boy Whole Horse came back. I hope we never see Whole Horse again in any future season. I want him to get away clean and have a nice life. My boy Whole Horse, absolute scumbag. I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
I was mad that Mondara came back, but I want to be clear. Mondara was way less annoying without his brother.
Sure, yeah, there was a lot less of that.
It just changed his energy enough that it made him more interesting to be around. I wasn't as fond of it because he was back and their stupid art style was back, but Whole Horse was here instead of Mondada's brother who sucked. So on balance, pretty good. You said you liked these episodes, so you speak to them.
I mean, I don't know that there's a lot. A lot of it is that Boingo has got his magic comic book that predicts the future slowly.
At the speed of plot.
Right. And Whole Horse is like, well, I don't know that I 100% believe in the fact that is a thing. That sounds bullshit. But he's willing to go along with it because he sees it work enough times that he's like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with it. And just the kind of shenanigans they get up to. The part where Polnareff is trying to gesture behind himself with his tongue for a really long time, and everyone's like, man, what's he doing? That's a weird thing to do.
And forming an arrowhead with the tip of his tongue. So do we address that it's sometimes the canny amazingly intelligent fighters who are the stand users here are just brain dead idiots?
I play a lot of tabletop role-playing games, so it is what it is.
That's fair.
Sometimes you point a literal arrow at something and your entire party of super genius warriors goes, what does that mean? What could that possibly mean? I thought it was fun. I thought it was lighthearted. I'm glad Whole Horse got to be part of the weird comic book music video.
This was a good comedy relief episode.
Mm-hmm. And definitely add some levity to things before The Guardian of Hell Pet Shop, Part 1 and 2.
Yes, this is the Iggy two-parter. Iggy's great in this, and nowhere else. Well, no, he's great from this point forward.
It wasn't enough. Although the punchline that it set up
was beautiful.
Yeah, this bird is another stand user. He's got like ice powers.
And he's a real sicko.
Yeah.
Like, he's more evil than most of the other stand users. They made this bird really evil. I appreciate that.
I agree. But there's a point where Iggy seems like he's defeated. He's beat the bird, but he's like drowning. Just because of the series of events. And so his life flashes before his eyes, and it's just a montage of him farting on Polnareff. And
eating his hair.
And eating his hair. And, like, that's so stupid the whole time, but that is the part of his life that's like, the memories. And they don't, like, play it up. It just happened. If you're not watching the screen, you would not know that's what was happening.
It is played as an earnest playing light flashing before his eyes segment.
Yeah.
And it is him farting on Polnareff and stealing the gum.
It was pretty solid. That was a pretty funny punchline. This is cool action in this. I liked Iggy's internal monologue. I liked learning more about the characters.
Iggy's internal monologue made me like Iggy so much that I'm almost willing to forgive all of the terrible Iggy shit before this.
It still happened.
Yeah.
That's kind of how... This is a cool episode. If he was this character the whole time, awesome. But he wasn't. And it was a lot of episodes of him being a dumb little motherfucking asshole goblin dog. But what hell is Dio's house. They finally found Dio's house.
Which is what they spent every episode up to this trying to find.
Yeah, they used Hermit Purple to get a camera photo of what they were looking for. And, I mean, Cairo's a big place.
So just take some time.
And they don't have a lot of time. They're racing against the clock. Kakyoin comes back. He went away in the first episode because he got blinded by Geb. Now he's back with sunglasses.
He got a character model update. I want to draw him with sunglasses now, said the mangaka.
So we enter into another two-parter, Darby the Player. This is Darby's younger brother, Terrence.
Well, it's good that we know his name is Terrence. This is very derivative, but very cool.
I think it was a good sequel.
Darby the Younger has basically the same powers, but he is creepier about it.
He can, like, read your mind and see if you're... Like, get a yes or no question from it.
Yes, I more meant that his stand and his brothers both steal souls if you admit internally defeat.
This, I mean, even if you admit it out loud, but this also had the long sequence of him, like, introducing himself.
And being...
With the weirdest editing.
Yeah, just, like, weirdly friendly, and they emphasize how much is it wigging the protagonists out by just editing it like a mid-2010s WWE match. Just a cut every 0.5 seconds. It was not pleasant to watch.
Well, and it was a lot of reused footage and played back. It's stuff I've used in Violent Profiles in Season 1 that I stopped using after Season 1. It was one segment, but I had just got done listening to Don't Mention Better Shit on Your Shit, Anime Cult, or Cavalt, if you prefer, talk about Evangelion and some of the animation shortcuts that were forced to take place in that. So it really stood out to me. But regardless, I like this two-parter. He sucks you into his Nintendo world and makes you play Famicom with him.
I wish to be clear, that's not true. He pulled them into the basement...
With a portal.
Which he had previously made to look like his Nintendo world mundanely. Dio's basement is canonically in real life.
That guy's got so many rooms. Do you think he'd notice?
Or it's part of the maze that they break in a later episode. That's also possible, I guess.
Yeah. I liked this. I liked, again, the cleverness of grandfather and grandson coming together.
Them both being clever to outwit this bitch was very... Because Darby the Gambler had some swag to him. He was he was a cheater, but also, kind of an honorable dude in that he's not mad at you if you cheat either, if you outsmart him. That's, whereas... Darby the Younger he has little brother syndrome. He's a little bitch.
Only I may cheat. Yeah. It was cool. You know who else is cool?
Who else is cool?
Rob, a guy from Ohio, DG, Chucci KTL, Passion Killer 711, Kitty Holbrook, Drake Starstorm, and Vanilla Ice. Or, as his American name is, Cool Ice.
Yeah.
Man, that American name was bad. The Japanese one wasn't much better because I know who Vanilla Ice is. But this guy, what a dragon. What a badass 3-episode dragon.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to use his Japanese name because it is better. Vanilla Ice is... that he's very... like, they do an excellent job. They introduce him with him killing himself to show his commitment to his Lord Dio, which really, like... because a lot of the villains in this show have this thing where once you defeat them, they begin crying and pissing and snotting and begging for mercy. They establish right away, it ain't gonna be that way with Vanilla Ice. That's not how it's gonna be now.
No. He's got a cool stand that is like a living void that eats him so he can fly around invisible.
And if it eats anybody else, they're just dead.
He's gone.
We're just dead.
And he looks like Simon Belmont, palette swap of Simon Belmont, which I thought was really cool because it ends up having this vampire, this Dracula figure, who has made Simon Belmont his bitch. And it's like a casual sort of...
That's clearly an intentional reference.
Yeah, an intentional reference to make Dio look even more fearsome, especially back when the manga would have originally come out.
Yes, absolutely great.
It's a great 3-parter. We do unfortunately lose Avdol.
All right, so what was the point of bringing Avdol back?
I'm inclined to agree. He really didn't do a whole lot.
Well, all right, so I just wouldn't have killed him off in the first place.
Sure.
If you were just going to have him die the second time exactly the same way.
Right.
Trying to save Polnareff from being a dum-dum.
So there was something we talked about a little bit a couple of days ago when you were watching these episodes. Avdol gives that big speech about, if you go in there, I'm not going to help you out. You shouldn't help me out.
Yeah, it's got to be every man for himself, because these assholes will use us trying to save each other to kill us all. So we can't let them. We can't fall into that trap. It's got to be every man for himself. And then he immediately folds,
which I like because Avdol from the beginning presents this very hard front, but he really gives a shit about these guys, and like he's not as posturing about it as someone like Jotaro would be, but it is something that he tries to keep at a distance, and he really has bonded with these guys.
He comes across as composed.
Yes.
Composed but compassionate.
Yes, I would agree. I'm sad to see him go, but someone's got to die. It's almost the end of the series,
and you gotta give Vanilla Ice. If he's going to be the dragon, he needs to take out at least 1 or 2 of these guys to make it feel, to amp up the pressure. And he does take out 2 of them.
Yeah, Iggy at the last second uses his stand to save Polnareff from... basically, Vanilla Ice became a big void marble, and, just to make sure he didn't miss, has been doing little spiraling inward circles with his big void marble.
In the whole room, and he's already injured Polnareff enough that he can't move away fast enough. So he would have died if, at the last moment, Iggy hadn't saved him. And this is after Iggy's already been injured because, Vanilla Ice ate Avdol. And then Iggy outsmarts him and makes him attack Dio, and he crashes out about it. He begins, instead of using his stand to eat Iggy and just remove the threat, he kicks this dog to death.
He used his stand to make a moving, speaking avatar of Dio. And yeah, it
makes it so that he has to attack his beloved master, and it just causes him to lose his shit and completely crash out.
But I like that wasn't the final straw. I like that they didn't beat him there and then move on. Vanilla Ice is such a badass and so canny and capable, and his stand is so strong that it continued for another episode from there. Then he took Iggy after that because he ate him. He kicked him nearly to death. Iggy pulled some fun fuck shit, and then he finished him off. And then everybody rejoins. There's a brief thing. There was another guy named Kenny G who made an illusion maze, but he
got OKO'd. He got insta-gibbed. Iggy took him out low diff. No diff. It was not close. But
a vampire named Loser.
Yes. Is the final guardian slash person in Dio's house.
There was a little bit where we had Suzy Q, some story with her in Japan, checking in on Holly.
Yeah, just some filler.
Yeah. I think it was good character stuff. It
reminds you of the stakes.
Yes, it does. Right before the big climax, it does remind you of the stakes, and it gives a little bit of extra characterization to these individuals. And then we have a 4-parter. 3 Dio's worlds and 1 long journey farewell, my friends. But really, it's only the last bit of the 4th episode that isn't the fight with Dio.
And it is fucking cinema.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. All of the stuff I complained about earlier. I need you to know, if that has made you not want to watch this show, I have done a bad job, because it is worth it anyway. It is worth it to see all of that stupid bullshit to get to watch this with full context.
I think that this 4-parter is an excellent amplified echo of the fight against, I don't remember the guy's name, but the vampire in Battle Tendency.
Cars?
It might have been Cars.
The ultimate bad guy?
No. Cars was the first dude. The first dude was in the city.
Oh, I don't.
That used to be a good guy, and he turned because he turned into a vampire. The one Joseph gunned down with a machine gun that he happened to have, and tricked with a mirror.
Yes. I know it's not right. My brain wants to say Strago.
No, it's you're close. That's like Strizo or something. But regardless, it really evoked similar. City at night, everything's fucked. There are innocents around. What are you going to do? Secret fight, public fight, secret fight, public fight. It was very cool.
This is good. I don't know how to explain it, how good it is.
It's so good. I didn't notice that the meme of "you're walking towards me" was happening until it was over.
I went back after I was done with that episode to watch the Japanese version, because in the American version they redo the dialogue a little bit so they don't actually say "you're walking towards me" instead of "running away, you're approaching me." And I needed to see that. I needed to see that dialogue.
The hilarious thing is, though, even with those words exactly, in context, when you have everything about why that is fucking terrifying to do, why it's such a badass move.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It
was already a funny meme, and it lives up to it. That's a good way of thank you. You got me to a nice nugget. All of the memes about this fight, all of the hype, this fight lives up to it.
Yeah.
It is so good and so cool and so full of excellent twists and turns, and
it builds tension really, really well.
Reversals of fortune that make sense and then hook you in further. It's just excellent work. I fucking no notes, peak cinema. Every compliment I can lay at the feet of this 4-episode stretch is right there.
If this whole anime was this shit, holy fuck, I could not have resisted watching the next season already.
This was so good, I almost started the next episode reflexively.
Yeah. Kakyoin falls very early to Dio.
But crucially, Kakyoin, the genius, is the one who figures out Dio's stand.
And he has to communicate it wordlessly because he's dying and he only has a couple seconds.
And Joseph, the very canny fighter, interprets Kakyoin's message and manages to get that information to Jotaro.
And Jotaro goes, "Oh, I can do that."
Oh, that's what he does? Okay, yeah. Because, again, Joseph is a canny fighter full of tricks and he tries to do his thing. He tries to trick Dio in the way he would have tricked one of the Pillar Men. He tries to outsmart him, and Dio just clowns him. Immediately takes him out. It doesn't work. Jotaro hears this horrible, same information Joseph had, this horrible, undefeatable, unbelievable advantage, and goes, "Bet." And then he just proceeds to swag and style on that motherfucker.
But it is a battle of the swag, because every time JoJo does the thing where he's like, where it usually backs down an enemy or has them on their heels, Dio is like, I can do that too.
Yeah, this is an excellent, interesting fight. And one of the few excellent, interesting fights in this season.
Yes.
Because the stand fights are just less interesting to watch than the battle tendency fights, because they're not usually fights.
Right.
They're usually like rock, paper, scissors. This is an excellent, interesting fight, and it is an aura off. Who has more aura? Who is cooler?
It reminds me a lot of a wrestling match, I'll be honest with you.
Yes! And the aura off is in-universe because it's them trying to psych each other out. It's going move for move, band for band, on who has more swag.
It's very cool. Polnareff gets some replacement parts from the Speedwagon Foundation. Joseph gets brought back to life by complicated stand stuff.
I want to be clear. Joseph Joestar, after Jotaro beats Dio, fucking spoilers for a really old thing, yeah, he wins. In fucking amazing fashion that I don't even feel like describing. Go watch it, it's peak. Joseph comes back in a way that explicitly, by the rules of every season of this anime, should not work. It should turn him into a vampire. By all logic, by everything established, by rules they have spent dozens of hours of content establishing firmly, should turn him into a vampire.
Which makes it extra funny when he gets up and pretends to be Dio reincarnated.
Or at least a vampire. And then it's just, no, I was just kidding. And then the Reapers turn into ice cream. Fuck you, Dio's dead. We don't have to care about this anymore. Moving on.
It's hard to say which is better. I think the lows were pretty low here, although strength was last season. But the highs were so soaring. The end was so much better than the beginning.
I think this section is the best I've seen of this anime so far, but the lows were low.
Yeah, they were pretty low.
Battle tendency was, the lows weren't as low, and the highs were almost as high. The highs were pretty high, but not near, like, this fight is so fucking cool.
It's incredibly cool. It's really good. I can definitely see what a guy from Ohio was saying, and that we didn't need to watch Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency first. I'm glad I did.
I mean, just to have so much context as when Dio doesn't give a shit about Hamel. That's so important.
And like a little bit what Hamon is, and you know, there's small stuff, and really, I think if I hadn't been primed for what I was about to receive, I don't think I would have received it as well.
But this whole battle for Egypt, because I feel like, you know, Stardust Crusaders by itself stands, you know, it's good. Battle for Egypt is like a half real bad, but the half that's good is so fucking peak that it's totally worth it.
So we're on the hook for all of JoJo's. I will say that the next 2 seasons might not come monthly. They're both 39 episodes, and that is outside of what my compatriot here is actually on the hook for in the rules of our Patreon. He's still gonna watch.
I mean, this fight was so fucking cool. I'm excited to watch. Was it Diamond is Unbreakable?
Diamond is Unbreakable, yeah. I'm looking forward to Golden Wind because of some stuff I've heard about the music. But either way, if you don't hear about this in February, you'll hear about it in March. And if you don't hear about Golden Wind in April, you'll hear about it in June. Stone Ocean split up, so we'll probably do that. Hell, I don't know. It's split up into
That's 12, 12, 14.
Parts, yeah.
We're going to play this by ear, but please know, I am excited for next season.
It makes it a lot easier to swallow I'm not going to phrase it that way, negative parts of this anime.
There's a look. I'm gonna phrase it a way that is also a joke they use. There are parts of this show that are not for me. But if you gotta eat shit, Don't nibble. Fucking let's go.